Hey everybody, Dan here with Pain Free You. Today's topic is going to be cut yourself some slack. Alright, so I'll get to that in a minute. I'm going to take a couple of nice deep breaths. Breathe in the peace. Exhale the noise. Breathe in the calm. Exhale the stress. So if you would, continue with this nice relaxed breathing. Let the tension out of your body. So when I say cut yourself some slack, I literally mean stop being so darn hard on yourself, right? The last thing we need is to be judging that I'm not doing this healing work correctly. I'm not being diligent enough. I tried to journal for a while and I don't think I did it right. I'm having a tough time finding my emotions. I can't seem to calm myself down. My brain won't settle down. All sorts of stuff, right? I should read more, I should watch more videos, I should listen to some more podcasts, and oh my God, I skipped my emotional work yesterday, and I'm never going to get better because I'm not doing this right. Does that sound familiar to anybody? Anybody here judge themselves as not doing enough to heal themselves? And basically beating the crap out of yourself because of that? And now you're blaming yourself for not being better because you're not doing this right? Well, I will tell you, it's easy to fall into that trap. For a lot of years, I would try to apply the TMS concepts. And it would work, and then it would come back. And then it would take longer to work, and then it would go away, but then it would still come back. And after a while, it just stayed back because I lost my confidence in my ability to quote-unquote do this correctly. And I became more and more convinced that I was broken, and that even if I didn't think my body was broken, I thought I was broken in my brain and in my emotions, and there must be something wrong with me if my brain is creating this. Well, what I will tell you is that this is not a weird, mystical, very few people get it situation. I think in the United States, about 100 million people either have had chronic pain at one point or another, or have it now. I think it's 50 million people currently have chronic pain, but 100 million people have had, significant pain in their lifetimes. It's about a third of the population. So that means if you're out at a restaurant, look around the room, a third of those people have something going on. You are not alone. The thing that makes you alone is the fact that you actually understand what's going on, that you're not actually broken. And so I will encourage you, as much as possible, cut yourself some slack. All of those self-image issues that say you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not capable of doing this, you're too anxious, why are you so sensitive? A lot of those limiting beliefs about ourselves didn't come from us. They were given to us by others. Sometimes parents or siblings or schoolmates, neighborhood kids or whatever. Many of us got picked on or bullied as a kid by family or other people. And at some point, the brain basically believes what you hear most often. So as a kid, if you were told you're a stupid kid enough times, you're actually going to believe it, which is a damn shame, right? But if you're told you're not good enough times, you're going to actually start to believe it. And then you may find yourself 20, 30, 40, 50 years later repeating those words that didn't come out of your head. They weren't your idea. Somebody else gifted them to you. And so we don't have to believe them any longer. We can shift our perspective and say, well, look at all the great things I have done. Oh, excuse me. It's been a long week. I took off last week due to the surgery, and, recovery was not as bad as I thought, but I was really fatigued and tired. And this week I'm back to coaching, so I've done 10 coaching calls this week. And so that's kind of kicking my butt a little bit, so sorry about the yawn. But again, not a hell of a lot to say here. But please stop judging yourself as not being good enough or not doing this recovery process perfectly enough. And if you have symptoms and you've been trying this stuff, don't decide that you're doing it wrong. Just decide it's going to take a little bit of time for your brain to learn that you're safe. And, if you watched yesterday's video about how to settle down the nervous system or how to calm down the nervous system, I used the phrase consistency, right? So if you want to teach the brain that you're safe so it settles down the nervous system and turns off the pain, being pretty good for 2 days and then flipping the heck out and then going back to being good and soothing and reassuring yourself and then flipping out again, it's not very consistent. You're not going to recover if you're not consistent. And so that doesn't mean that you're screwing up and you should be really hard on yourself. That means you should be more kind and compassionate and remind yourself that you can do this stuff. Right? Beating yourself up doesn't make you do it better. Reassuring yourself and convincing yourself and talking yourself into a more calm and reassuring response to the pain will help you do that part of it better. And if you are trying to feel some emotions, you're writing out stuff and you're like, I'm feeling emotionally agitated, but I don't know what it is, just feel whatever you're feeling. You're not doing it wrong. If you're feeling some type of emotion, even if you can't put a label on it, that's okay. Perfection is not necessary. It's not even a thing. We can't do this process perfectly. As a matter of fact, we can do it very imperfectly. Remember, consistent messages of safety. Beating the crap out of yourself for doing it wrong is not a message of safety. So please, stop berating yourself, criticizing yourself, judging yourself. Cut yourself some slack. You're going to get there. And the more consistent you can be with these messages of safety to your brain, the faster you're going to get there. So what do you guys think? Guys and gals. Love you. And we'll see you tomorrow. Take care.